how are you?
Hello, Miss Kathy. Good. How are you?
We're doing awesome considering we were going to have a great test drive today and people in the store. And then what happened in your area?
Well, we got some snow.
Same. Look at that. The first snow of the whole season for us. How about you guys?
Yeah, us too. It's been brown for weeks, and now we finally have snow.
Like we were just saying, it's the first snow in like 300 and some odd days.
Yeah, it's
Over
crazy. They closed all of our schools down last night. They told everybody last night that there wasn't going to be school. I mean, I remember as a kid, I had to wait and watch that ticker and make sure that our school was going to
right across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Oh no. So my girls go to a private school, and one of his traditions to do, the vice principal calls and sings from a song. Like one year was, of course, Let It Snow.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty famous what he kind of does. So we got that. We all listened yesterday afternoon to the recording. And then my husband told me that they even closed off at Air Force Base, which was crazy.
Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Right. It looks like we're getting some people in. Let's explain what we're going to do today. So we're kind of excited because Angie and Rick at the Quilting Connection and Jacob and I at Fabric Bash, we're the only two APQS Handi Quilter dealers ever.
No.
And we feel like it's been, we had a APQS first, and then we added Handi Quilter. And Angie, you have had Handi Quilter and then added APQS. So we become really good friends, helping each other with all of this great momentum of learning all of these great two long arm systems that work very well together. I love how they can marry, and we can find all of our customers the right machine. What do you think, Miss Angie?
Yeah, definitely. We really feel that these are the two best brands on the market, and giving our customers even more options has just been amazing. I like to joke that I'll call Kathy and be like, hey, what does this mean in APQS language? And then she can call me and be like, what does this mean in Handi Quilter language? So it's been great back and forth.
Right. So it's been great because she has just been such a great help getting us up to speed way faster than, but I mean, I love long arming. Angie, you love long arming, right? Like this is where we both want to be. So now our world just got to be better by having both in the store. So we're just really, truly excited. Yeah. All right. One of the things we're going to do, let's go over how the agenda is going to work today. So I'm going to hand this over to Angie. She's going to introduce herself. We're going to watch a Handi Quilter video, then talk about prices. You can, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and comment questions. We can answer your questions. And then we're going to talk about our store, and then we'll talk about APQS. So Angie, why don't you take it over?
Perfect. So again, my name is Angie. My husband, Rick, and I, we bought the business in September of 21. This is our studio. This is our store.
Okay, so with technology and so I think there's a little bit of technical difficulties going on here. So why don't we go ahead and play the video and see if Angie can go. Oh, there you are. Are you back now?
Hi.
Okay. So
we're going to go ahead. Maybe because it said Ford, my Ford was connected. So let's try that.
Okay,
we're learning, right?
Yeah, we're totally learning. It's all on the fly here. Get some more time for some people to come on in. How does that sound?
Okay, I turned off my Bluetooth, so hopefully it won't connect to my car again. Is that better?
Yes, but you're still frozen. I'm going to do this, Angie. We're going to go ahead and play the video. And then when we get back from the video, we're going to go ahead and have Angie tell her about her stores, see if something happens.
Sounds good.
Okay, Angie's video. Yep, go ahead, Mark. It is you.
Designers, and ask those designers if they wanted to license their designs.
Okay, hold on. Again, great issues that we're having. It's going to be great, everybody. Hold on. We just had to rewind.
This is Pro Stitcher Premium. Pro Stitcher Premium is going to be available for the Amara 20 machine, Amara 24 machine, and Infinity 26 machine. If you do have an older machine, the Avantes, the Fusions, the Simplies, any of those machines with an 8-wheel carriage can get Pro Stitcher Premium. Pro Stitcher Premium is going to come with a huge library of designs. There are 850 designs that are preloaded into this. This is my stick, that D drive. So let me go to my C drive, my design folder.
Hey, Angie.
Hi.
I love technology. How's everybody out in the world out there? Isn't it just like the best? We have the best thing ever.
We can do it live. As long as you can hear me, I can do it live. No problem.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and get you then started?
Okay.
Wait,
hold on. Move you. Hopefully nobody gets motion sickness. Sorry. I'm going to move you over by my Amara. Tell me. Is that okay, Kathy?
Hold on. I think we got the video. Hold on.
Okay.
Try one more time.
One more time, and then if not, we're nixing it.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, good. This is Pro Stitcher Premium. Pro Stitcher Premium is going to be available for the Amara 20 machine, Amara 24 machine, and Infinity 26 machine. If you do have an older machine, the Avantes, the Fusions, the Simplies, any of those machines with an 8-wheel carriage can get Pro Stitcher Premium. Pro Stitcher Premium is going to come with a huge library of designs. There are 850 designs that are preloaded into this. This is my stick, that D drive. So let me go to my C drive, my design folder. This is the Pro Stitcher folder. So these are all of the blocks, continuous line, corners, and triangle designs. They do have this folder here, this tutorials folder. So if you go on prostitcher.com and you watch any of those videos, these are the designs that they used in those tutorials. Then Pro Stitcher reached out to a bunch of different designers and asked those designers if they wanted to license their designs to be included with the Pro Stitcher. So all of these individual names over here, these are all people that have chosen to include their designs into the Pro Stitcher system. I have to brag just a little bit. This is my mom, Sue Schmieden. So these are her block designs, borders, repeats for edge to edge, and then some whole cloth designs too. But there are a ton of different designers in here. We love Urban Elements. There are a lot of great designs inside of here too. Anne Bright, Megan Best, all of these amazing designers have chosen to include their designs with the Pro Stitcher. So you're gonna have 850 designs included with Pro Stitcher Premium. Some of the other great features of Pro Stitcher Premium, we still have control over all of our editing of the designs, our areas, we can mark out our areas. There is a feature, Quilting Space, here. We absolutely love Quilting Space. We use that for every single Pro Stitcher quilt that we do. It shows us on the screen where our roller bars are, and then it also helps us keep our left and our right edge nice and straight and nice and even as we're working down those quilts. I do have a video on my YouTube, Angie's Answers, that's all about Quilting Space. We can do the same modifications to design, so we can rotate, reposition, resize, crop, align, skew, and this swap button is super helpful for custom quilting. We can repeat designs, a basic or a wrap. In our Pro Stitcher tab, we have full stitch and half stitch. We have a follow button. That follow button is going to center the crosshairs on my screen for me. So if I run out of bobbin thread partway through a row, it's really easy to find exactly where my crosshairs are. There's a built-in basting feature in Pro Stitcher Premium. So if you did need to get some longer stitches and some basting, you can turn that on right from your Pro Stitcher. Channel locks are also found down here on this bottom left side here, so both horizontal and vertical. We have our move feature, so we can move the machine in any of those directions, tell it to stitch or not stitch. We have our record function. So we still have the mark feature. Mark feature is, again, one of our favorite features of the Pro Stitcher for custom quilting. You can mark exactly where you want it to stitch. So if you're trying to make piano keys in your border, if you're trying to stitch through an Irish chain diagonally, you can mark exactly where those intersections are, and it's going to stitch perfectly from intersection to intersection. You do also have a record feature under the Pro Stitcher. So that allows you to do free motion recording of your own designs, and that will turn it into a digital design for you. We have a lot of settings under our settings tab that aren't available in Pro Stitcher Lite. So some of our defaults, I can change my nudge so it always defaults at 1/4 of an inch, and my auto jump. My OptiStitch feature is a speed control that is available on Pro Stitcher Lite, so you can control that speed it's going to run. This is your auto jump again. Stitches per inch, you can control your stitches per inch. You can also change your basting here if you wanted that basting stitch to be bigger. How many tie-offs the machine is going to take and how far apart those tie-offs are. That is only a feature that you can customize in Pro Stitcher Premium. You can't customize that in Pro Stitcher Lite. Pro Stitcher Premium has the pull up and the pull up auto feature. So that means that it's going to take that first stitch. The machine is going to slide away to the right about 2 inches so you can grab your bobbin thread. Where on Pro Stitcher Lite, it will only take the stitch. It won't slide away for you. So it doesn't have that auto feature. Pause delay allows us to tell the machine to hesitate for me after it's stitched for so long, so it's easier for me to cut my threads. Because I'm showing you on my Infinity screen, I can turn on my thread cutter. That Infinity has that lower thread cutter. Stitch stats is one of my favorite buttons. I don't have a design open right now, so it won't tell me. But stitch stats, when you lay out an edge-to-edge design, you can come into your settings tab and touch that stitch stats, and it's going to tell you how long it's going to take. Then under your advanced button, we have a bunch more controls under here. So I can tell it to load the pattern at my crosshairs or load the pattern point to point. My communications, if something isn't talking, I can reconnect everything. This is your maximum stitches per minute based on your machine, and my motor torque limit too. There are, again, just a ton of features in Pro Stitcher Premium. We absolutely love it. Pro Stitcher Premium, again, is only meant for 8-wheel carriage machines. So that's going to be your Amara 20, Amara 24, and your Infinity 26, or any of those older machines, the Avante, the Fusion, and the Simply 16, as long as it has that 8-wheel carriage. So I hope you have enjoyed learning about Pro Stitcher Premium. Let's talk about Pro Stitcher Lite. Pro Stitcher Lite is going to go on the Moxie 15 or the Moxie XL, which is an 18-inch throat. Pro Stitcher Lite is only for a 4-wheel carriage. Biggest difference in Pro Stitcher Lite is the amount of designs that you're going to get. So the Pro Stitcher Lite is going to come with 250 designs already loaded. You can, of course, add more. There is a USB port on the side here to be able to import more designs. Pro Stitcher Lite is going to be more of a basic Pro Stitcher system where some of the features are just going to be an on or an off instead of completely customizable like they will be with Pro Stitcher Premium. Pro Stitcher Lite, you are required to make what's called frame space. So under my area tab and frame space, I do have to show the machine the safe zone where it can quilt before I'm able to run either a block design or an edge-to-edge design. So frame space is a crucial component of the Pro Stitcher Lite. Pro Stitcher Lite is going to give you all of the same modification tools. So we can rotate designs, reposition designs, resize, crop, align, and skew. We can repeat designs for an edge-to-edge pattern. Your Pro Stitcher tab, you still have control of your half or full stitch. You do have built-in channel locks. They're also found down here, so horizontal or vertical. You do have a move feature in Pro Stitcher Lite, so that's going to move the machine in any direction that you want, and you can tell it to stitch or not stitch. Your record feature, you do have mark. Mark is one of our favorite buttons. It allows you to show the machine where you want it to quilt. So if you're trying to create piano keys in your border, you can mark that out with your Pro Stitcher. You can also turn on a grid. These grid lines, the dark lines are 1 inch, the lighter lines are 1/4 of an inch. So you can mark those super consistently. You also have access to the PS patterns because this is in Pro Stitcher Connect. It's connected. You can connect it to the internet with your Wi-Fi. So let me open up the design tab and just show you some of the designs that are included. So this Pro Stitcher design folder, these are some of the blocks. These designs are meant to stitch just within a block, 1 block at a time. They are not meant to be connected together. This is one of my favorite feather blocks. I love how that stitches out. Sorry, you've got a little bit of a glare. This is the continuous line folder. So all of these designs are meant to be connected together and stitch across edge to edge. Then there is a folder here for separate corners. So if you are doing a border and you want a separate corner, you've got a corner folder, and you have a folder here for triangles. Pro Stitcher Lite, again, is only for Moxie 15 and Moxie XL on the loft frame. Technically, if you did have a Simply 16 machine head, that could be put on a loft frame, and you could get Pro Stitcher Lite for that Simply 16 machine as well. So I hope you enjoyed learning about Pro Stitcher Lite. This is the Moxie machine. So Moxie machine is going to come on a different frame. This is the loft frame. Loft frame comes as an 8-foot frame. You can add a 2-foot extension for an additional $500 to make it 10 feet, but 10 feet is going to be the maximum for the loft frame. The loft frame is a little bit narrower of roller bars, and it only takes up just over 4 feet from front to back too. So a little bit of a smaller frame. This frame is great to fit in bedrooms. It's a wonderful frame that fits in most bedrooms. So the Moxie machine and the Moxie XL are the two machines that fit on the loft frame. So this is the Moxie XL. The original Moxie machine is a 15-inch opening. The Moxie XL is an 18-inch opening. The Moxie machines are going to have handlebar buttons here, exactly the same. So needle up and down on the left, your decrease of your stitches per inch on the left, your start and stop on the right, and your increase of your stitches per inch on the right hand side too. So no programmable handlebar buttons, just the 4. The Moxie XL does have a touch screen on it, so we can change our stitches per inch or those stitch modes. Where the original Moxie machine, you're going to use your handlebar buttons to toggle through that screen. It's not a touch screen. The Moxie XL and the Moxie 15, they both have all the same stitching modes, so that precision mode, the cruise control mode, and the manual mode. So you can use all of those same modes on all of the machines. You also have control over your lighting. So if I touch on this screen here, I can touch my lighting option and I can increase that lights. There is lights down here on the Moxie XL and the Moxie 15. There isn't lights up here, but you can add an extra light strip if you wanted. But you can increase or decrease your light control on both the Moxie XL and the Moxie 15. You do have the same lifetime stitch count, and you have that trip meter to be able to reset your stitches for that project. There is not timers on the Moxie machines, but you can know how many stitches you've put into a project. There is an overspeed alarm, so if I'm stitching too fast, that machine's going to yell at me and let me know that I'm going too fast and tell me to slow down. I'm just outrunning the stitch regulator at that point. So I do have to be conscious of my speed for moving the machine and make sure that I'm not outrunning that stitch regulator. The information screen on here tells me all of the different versions about the machine. And then there is an on-screen diagnostic, and then there is that update, so I can download an update to a USB stick from my regular computer, plug it in down here, and I can update that machine. The Moxie does also have a needle positioner, so I can tell it if I want to start with that needle up or down, and if I want it to stop with that needle up or down. We have added the Pro Stitcher Lite to this Moxie machine, so if you don't have the computer system, then you would just have the smaller screen, and then the Pro Stitcher Lite is this larger tablet up here on the top. Moxie machines also do not come with the handlebars, the quilt from the back kit, but you could add those handlebars to the back if you did want to do any pantograph quilting. This frame is also set up in that standard loading mode, so we can see that batting right before it goes in, make sure everything is nice and smooth. You can change the position of the loft frame if you did want it to be in the clear view mode, and clear view means that these two roller bars are going to come down lower, so it's more of a flat surface. Clear view loading mode is nice if you are doing ruler work and you don't want that ruler to hit this front roller bar, but the downfall to clear view is you can't see the batting right before it gets quilted, and sometimes that batting can get a little bunchy. So on the loft frame, you do have to change some screws to be able to put it down into that clear view loading mode. There is an option on the loft frame that you can add a pole cradle, so it sits up here, so you can lift this pole up and set it into that cradle so you can see and smooth out that batting. So if you are thinking clear view mode, we highly recommend getting the pole cradles too. Loft frame, like we said, is 8 feet. So that means my backing fabric can be 90 inches wide. My quilt tops can be about 80 to 82 inches wide. And then I don't have to worry about bumping any of the edges. One of the systems that we've created here is that quick zip system. So these zippers fully separate when I want to take a project off or put a new project on. All I have to do is zip them together like that. So we absolutely love the quick zip system. Check that out on our website, is quiltingconnection.com. And then I have a bunch of videos on my YouTube too, which is Angie's Answers. So Moxie XL, Moxie 15, very similar machines. They both belong on the loft frame, and only Pro Stitcher Lite can go on those frames and those machines, because it's a 4-wheel carriage, where our Amara 20, Amara 24, and Infinity 26, those are gonna have 8 wheels, so those are gonna be the ones that get the Pro Stitcher Premium. Moxie does have a magnet over here to hold my scissors for me. You do have a good amount of light control here too, tension control here as well. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about the Moxie XL and the Moxie 15. This machine is called the Moxie ST. Moxie ST is a stationary machine. So that means that this head is not going to move, but our fabric is going to move. We have 2 different stationary machines. So Moxie ST is going to be an 18-inch opening. The Amara ST is going to be a 20-inch opening. The other big difference between the Moxie ST and the Amara ST is the table that it comes on. So this table is going to be called your insight table. There's built-in stitch regulation here on each side of the needle. This is what the insight table looks like. The insight table is going to be a manual adjustment for height, where the Amara ST can come either on this insight table or on the lift table. The lift table has the same stitch regulation built into the table. The difference is that lift table can change height with the touch of a button. So there would be a control on the side of the table that you could choose the height you wanted it to be. Both tables can be either all the way up to standing height, countertop height, or come all the way down to sitting position. The nice thing about that lift table is you do it with a touch of a button. The lift table also has 4 presets, so once you find the heights that you like, you can save those as a preset. You could save the highest height as one of the presets, so when you want to clean and oil and change your bobbin, you don't have to come down to do that. You can raise that table all the way up and you can get to that bobbin and cleaning and oiling so much easier. The insight table can also be height adjusted, but again, it's going to be a manual adjustment instead of the push of a button adjustment. Moxie ST, some of the other features of the Moxie, there is a magnet here, so it'll hold my scissors for me. And again, it's got that 18-inch opening. I'm gonna bring you a little closer so you can see what the screen looks like. This is what the Moxie screen looks like. I did also want to mention that it does come with a nice large foot pedal. Both the Moxie ST and the Amara ST have this nice large foot pedal. So it's easy to find when it's down below. You're not always searching for it. So everything on the screen is going to tell you what's selected. So the M here has that blue around it. That means that we're currently in manual stitching mode. So no stitch regulator active. You get to choose that speed that you want the machine to run your stitches per minute. So right now it is set at 750 stitches per minute. When you find the stitches per minute that you like to use, you can save 2 of your favorite stitches per minute here with these floppy disks. So if I touch here, that's going to bring the 750 down and replace that 600. This is how my needle is going to stop. So right now I'm telling my needle to stop in the down position. This play button here would be if I wanted to bypass my foot pedal. So I could touch that button, I wouldn't have to use the foot pedal at all, and then I would touch that same button to pause it. The other stitch modes that we have is the P, that's a precision stitch mode. So that means we're engaging those stitch regulators and we're setting how many stitches per inch that we want. So right now it is currently set at 11. I can decrease that, take it all the way down to 4 stitches per inch. So those would be a longer stitch, more like a basting stitch. Or I could increase that and take it all the way up to 18. If I wanted a really, really tight, tiny stitch. That would be more for like micro quilting, but to be honest, I'm not gonna rip out 18 stitches per inch. We like to stick somewhere around 10, 11, 12. That's what we found is our favorite, where if I do have to rip it out, I'm not gonna cry, but it still looks like a really good stitch per inch. The third mode that you can choose is a cruise control mode. So cruise control mode is going to combine the precision mode and the manual mode together. So we're telling it to do 11 stitches per inch, but we're also telling it to do 125 stitches per minute. So combining those together makes it a lot easier if you're trying to do a pattern with points. Anytime you hesitate in that point, that cruise control mode is going to take over and it's going to do this 125 stitches per minute and keep that needle moving for you. That makes it feel much easier to get in and out of the point, and it doesn't ever feel like your needle is stuck in the fabric. The other controls on the screen, you do have controls over your lights. So this little sun here, that's going to control my lights, so I can increase and make those nice and bright, or decrease and dim those down. It depends on your fabric choice. Sometimes you want them to be brighter, sometimes you want them to be a little dimmed. This is going to be my stitches. So this one down here is my lifetime stitch count on the machine. Think of that one like the odometer on your car. This one here we can reset, and that's like a trip meter on our car. So you could know how many stitches you've put into a project by resetting this trip meter. There is an alarm on here, which is an overspeed alarm. So that means that if I am in that stitch regulated mode and I am pushing that machine faster than what that stitch regulator can keep up with, it's going to alert at me and let me know, hey, I need to slow down a little bit. This information screen tells me all of the different versions of everything on the machine. This one is a diagnostic, so that's for us as techs. If something is going on with the machine, there's an on-screen diagnostic. And then this one is an updater. So if Handi Quilter comes out with a new version for the machine, we would go on our regular computer, download that update to a USB stick, and then there's a USB port down here in the bottom of the screen that we can plug that in, and then we can update the machine all by a USB stick. So the screen is pretty friendly, pretty self-explanatory. Let me back you up just a little bit and show you some stitching. Anytime I want to do stitching, I always want to bring up my bobbin thread first. So I'm holding on to this top thread. I'm going to touch the button here to make the needle go down, touch that same button to make the needle come back up, and then I can slide over, and that helps me grab my bobbin thread. Then I go back to that same spot and I hold both of these threads together and I hold that button. And I'm just gonna slightly move the fabric so I'm getting about 4 or 6 stitches locked in the same spot. So I'm getting a nice locked stitch there. Then remember, the stitch regulators are here underneath the fabric by the needle. So the closer I hold to those stitch regulators, the more accurate the machine is going to read my movement and keep those stitches nice and even for us. So I'm gonna push my foot pedal down, and then I'm gonna start to move my machine. If I move that machine nice and slow, it's going to fire those stitches nice and slow for me, but keep them nice and even. If I speed up my movement, that motor is going to speed up. It's still going to keep my stitches even for me, but I can speed up that motor and I can go faster. So I can either move that nice and slow, or I can move it fast, and the machine is going to recognize how fast or slow I'm moving that machine, and it's going to keep those stitches even for us. So again, I have this at 11 stitches per inch and that 125 for that cruise control. That just helps it again so I don't feel like my needle's ever stuck in the fabric. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about the stationary machines. Again, this is the Moxie ST, but there is also the Amara ST. The biggest difference is the frames that are available and then the size of the throat. So the Moxie ST has this 18-inch opening. The Amara ST has a 20-inch opening. And then the insight table that comes with the Moxie ST is a manual adjustment for height, where the lift table that can come on the Amara ST, you can adjust that height by the touch of a button. This is what the Pro Stitcher Designer program looks like. In Pro Stitcher Designer, you can bring in any of the designs that are included with your machine or any designs that you purchase, and you can make changes to those designs. You can modify them, you can splice the lines apart, you can add more stitch points, you can change those designs however you want to in Pro Stitcher Designer. Pro Stitcher Designer is only going to be included with Pro Stitcher Premium, so the Amara 20, Amara 24, and the Infinity machine. Pro Stitcher Lite, Pro Stitcher Designer is not included with the Pro Stitcher Lite that comes with the Moxie machines. You can purchase Pro Stitcher Designer separately if you do purchase a Pro Stitcher Lite. Pro Stitcher Designer is such a powerful tool. There are also fonts preloaded in here, so you can type in text and you can choose the font that you want. You can choose to have those letters stay individual, or you can combine and splice those letters together. There's also a backdrop tool. So say that you have hand-drawn something and you want to create that into a digital folder, you can take a picture of the design that you've created, you'd upload it as the backdrop in ProStitcher Designer, and then you have something to follow along as you're creating the designs. I'm going to take you to ProStitcher.com. If you come here to this Learn tab and then scroll down here where it says ProStitcher Designer Education, all of these different videos that are on here are going to show you quick tools on how to use some of these features. There's an auto digitizing feature here. You can create a stencil using an echo feature, using raise, repeating your designs. The possibilities are just endless. So here are some of the things with text that you can do. The magic wand tool. There are so many amazing videos on this Learn tab. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, these are print-out tutorials that are going to give you step-by-step that go along with the videos above. So again, I'm on ProStitcher.com under this Learn tab, and then ProStitcher Designer Education. ProStitcher Designer, again, comes with the ProStitcher Premium, but it does not come with ProStitcher Lite. You can add it separately. It is a $600 program if you do buy it separately. We hope you enjoyed learning about ProStitcher Designer. These are the two machines that belong on the gallery frame. We have the Amara 24 and the Infinity 26. The Amara 24 is also available in an Amara 20 that comes on a studio frame. Biggest difference between the gallery and the studio frame is going to be the size of the roller bars and the footprint that it takes up. So the gallery frame, these roller bars are bigger. They're about 3 inches in diameter. This frame takes up about 5.5 feet from front to back. The studio frame that the Amara 20 goes on, these roller bars are about 1.5 inches in diameter and takes up about 4.5 feet. All of the features on the Amara 24 and the Amara 20 are exactly the same. It's just the frame changes if you get a 20-inch machine or a 24-inch machine. So some of the amazing features of the Amara 20, Amara 24, and Infinity. These three machines are going to have very similar features. One of my favorite features is the adjustable handlebars. So these handlebars can move in and out. They can also move up and down. So you can set those handlebars exactly where you want them to be. That makes it super comfortable when you're quilting free motion quilting. The Amaras and the Infinity, both of them have a laser light for where that needle is going to go down. That makes it so much easier when your bobbin thread runs out. You know exactly where that needle is going to go down. And you can stitch right over the top of those old stitches to make sure they are all locked together. Amara and Infinity machines also have programmable handlebar buttons. So we have our needle up and down on the left, our start and stop on the right. We have our decrease for our stitches per inch or decrease for your stitches per minute if you're running in manual mode. Our increase for our stitches per inch and increase for stitches per minute in manual mode. But then there's two other handlebar buttons on these three machines. There's a star button on the left and a diamond button on the right. Those two buttons are programmable, so we can set them to be what we want. You could have your start and stop on the left along with your needle up and down, or needle up and down on the right along with your start and stop, so you don't have to cross your hands over to bring up your bobbin thread. There's also a few other things that those buttons can be. The Amara machines, that thread mast is nice and close. There is a gray collar around the machine that's magnetic only on that side, so we can hang our scissors on that magnetic collar as well. There is a lighted bobbin area. So both the Amaras and the Infinities have a light in the bobbin area. Makes it super easy to clean and oil, so you can make sure you're getting all that gunk out of there too. So we love that light down in that bobbin area. The Amara screen here is very easy to use, very similar to the other Handi Quilter screens. We have those 3 stitch modes, the precision mode, the cruise control mode, and the manual mode. So all the machines have the same 3 stitch modes on there. You can control how your needle is going to stop, either up or down. Both the Amaras and the Infinities have a tie-off feature. So we can, with the touch of a button,
fire some stitches real fast to make our threads lock together at the beginning and the end for that row. There is lighting, a lot more lighting on the Amaras. So the Amara has a light ring down here to give us extra lighting right by our needle, and it also has a light strip in that neck of the machine head. So that way we can have really great lighting while we're doing our quilting too. You can dim those lights, you can turn them off individually as well. Some of the tools on the Amara and the Infinity machine, we're gonna have stitch counters. So it's gonna count up our stitches as we're doing that stitching. It will also count up your time for you as you're stitching. So you can know how many stitches and how much time you put into that project. That stitch counter and that time, both of those are able to be reset. So think about them kind of like a trip meter in your car. There is still a lifetime stitch count on the machines too. So we have an odometer for our lifetime stitch count, and then we have that reset where we can reset for the trip meter for the stitches and the time. There's also a timer on here to count down for you. So you can set a specific amount of time, and then that timer will start counting down for you. There is a calculator on all of the machines. There is an updater, so we can download an update to a USB stick, bring that into the machine and update the machines. And then there's also those on-screen diagnostics. Some of the other settings on the machine, on the Amaras and on the Infinity, there is a low bobbin warning. So that's gonna let you know when your bobbin thread is running out. You can record how much thread is on your specific bobbin because each machine is just a little bit different. So we put a full bobbin in, we touch that record button, we stitch with that whole bobbin, and then we turn off that record once it's done, and that gives us a number value for how much thread is on our bobbin. Then on your home screen, there's a reset bobbin button. So we touch that, it'll tell us and bring that back to full. So as you're stitching, you can glance up and see, do I have enough bobbin to finish this row? The handlebar buttons, like we talked about, the star and the diamond, those are programmable. So on the Amara machine, we can set these buttons to be start and stop, needle up and down, increase or decrease, or the tie off. Those are the 5 features that we can set the handlebar buttons for the Amara. On the Infinity screen, we have a few more options. So on the Infinity machine, the star and the diamond button, I can set it to be the same, start, stop, needle up and down, increase, decrease. But one of the other benefits that the Infinity has over the Amaras, the Infinity is going to have a lower thread cutter. So I could set one of my handlebar buttons to cut off that bobbin thread for me. There is also a camera on the Infinity machine that doesn't come on the Amaras. That camera is underneath, so we can see what our tension looks like on the back of the quilt without having to crawl under. You can also make one of your handlebar buttons turn on that camera for you. Infinity also has that tie-off feature, so I could set my handlebar button to be a tie-off. And then the Infinity has those built-in channel locks, both horizontal and vertical. So you could, same thing, set your handlebar buttons to be either one of those channel locks as well. On the Amara screen, the other features we talked about, laser light for where your needle goes down, the alarms. So there is that low bobbin alarm on both the Amaras and the Infinities. There is a top thread break alarm. That top thread break alarm is super helpful if you are quilting from the back doing pantograph quilting, or if you're letting the computer do that stitching. If that top thread breaks, the machine will stop stitching. So it won't continue down the rest of the row. It knows that it doesn't have any thread, so the machine will stop once that top thread breaks. There is also over speed alarms on the machines too. If you were to push it too fast, I don't think you will on the Amaras and the Infinities. On our smaller machines, on our Moxie machines, we do have to be a little more careful with how fast we're quilting so we don't outrun that stitch regulator. But on the Amaras and the Infinities, we can't outrun those stitch regulators. You can set how many tie-offs it takes, how many tacks on either machine. On the information screen on both of these, there is a needle guide. So it tells me what size needle works best with what thickness of thread. And then it gives you a little clue at the bottom of if your tension is off. So if your top tension is too tight or too loose, there's a picture on here to tell you what that would look like. Your thread path for the entire machine is also on the screen. So if you're not certain if you're threading the machine right, you can come into the information screen on the Amaras and the Infinities, and you can check to make sure that that thread path is done properly for you. Your information part of the information screen tells us that lifetime stitch count, that lifetime machine time, and then all of the versions that it's on. The other feature that the Infinity machine comes with that the Amaras do not is going to be those handlebars in the back there. So the Infinity machine comes with the quilt from the back kit is what that's called. So handlebars back there and a laser light. So that way you can run those paper pantograph patterns from the back. On the Amara machines and the Moxie machines, they made that an add-on accessory. So it doesn't come with the handlebars in the back. The Infinity is the only one that does. The other accessory that we have added to both of these machines is these bigger tablets. That is the ProStitcher computer system. I'll do another video all about the amazing ProStitcher computer system. Other accessories we've added to this frame is this overhead lighting, the highlight. You can never have too much light. We absolutely love the highlight system. On this gallery frame, it is a freestanding frame or freestanding highlight. On the studio frame that the Amara 20 comes on, the highlight actually attaches right to the frame, so you don't have any legs sticking out at the end of the frame. It attaches right on the inside of the frame like that. The way that the frame is set up right now, this is called your standard loading mode. So you can see the batting right here, right before it goes in to be quilted. This is our personal favorite way to set up the machines, is in the standard loading mode. But there is a quick change on the ends of the machines if you did want to rotate these down and have it in clear view loading mode. So that means that this roller bar would come down here, this roller bar would come down even lower. Clear view loading mode, a lot of people like to use for free motion quilting because this bar isn't in your way. Or if you're doing ruler work and have a longer ruler, that ruler won't hit this bar, then that can be out of the way. But the downfall to clear view loading mode is you can't see your batting as easily, so you need to make sure that you're keeping this nice and smooth. Both the gallery frame and the studio frame come with pole cradles. I don't know if you can still see me, but there's a cradle down here so we can lift up that bar and set that in the cradle, and then we can get under here easier to make sure that our batting is smooth. So if you are into clear view loading mode, we do recommend putting your bar up into that pole cradle and checking your batting each time you roll it forward. Gallery frame and studio frames both have a bar underneath to be able to store 2 rolls of batting. So you can fit 2 rolls of batting down underneath of the frame. We don't necessarily use it from that bar, but we can store it from there, pull it out and cut what we need. We always prefer our batting to hang freely, and so it's all opened up. If we pulled it from the roll, it would be folded and it would be a little harder to use. So those are the amazing features about the Amara 24, the Infinity 26. Again, the Amara 20, the only difference is it comes on a studio frame instead of the gallery frame. This gallery frame is 5.5 feet deep, where that studio frame is 4.5 feet deep, because it's a 24-inch machine versus a 20-inch machine. So I hope I have filled your brains with all of the things for the Amara 24 and the Infinity 26 on the gallery frame.
Oh my gosh, that was so much information. I can't hear you, Kathy.
Hold on.
There we go. Now
All
I
right.
can hear
Is
you.
that
There we go.
better?
Hey.
I said, you did fabulous. I did my video on Sunday when I came back from brown bags and I was exhausted from Orlando. So I'm going to fill in some of the gaps because your video was amazing. So very, very awesome. So why don't you tell us about your store since we missed some of that at the beginning, hon?
Perfect. Awesome. So we've been here since 1999. We're in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, teeny tiny town, southeastern Wisconsin. My mom and my grandma opened our shop when I was 15. So quilting has been in my blood my whole life. My husband and I bought the business September of 21. So now my husband and I run it, and then our kids work here at the shop too. So we're about 2,200 square feet. We are exclusive Longarm. We don't have any fabrics. We just have all the products like thread and, needles, all the stuff that you would need for Longarm, but no fabrics, exclusive Longarm. And we have a second location up in Appleton, Wisconsin. So about 2 hours north from our Elkhorn location. We share a wall with a giant fabric store up in Appleton. So it's a great partnership up there. But I love everything Longarm. So I have been Longarm quilting for customers for many years, and I just love that education part when they come in and they're learning the machine or learning the computer, and you just get to see those light bulbs go off. Like, that is so fun. So we really try to focus hard on that education part of it, because let's be honest, you can get a machine from anywhere, but if you don't have that support and that education, it could end up being a laundry hanger, and we don't want that.
Right. Nope, not at all. No. I'm excited because my first Handi Quilter play date is this Friday. So I'm excited. So we're doing that as well. Yes, I love the education part.
Yes.
So now that we got that and we'll wait here for a few questions. If anybody has any questions,
Okay.
we're going to go ahead and see. That was a lot of information. Where, Angie, can they call you when they want to decide to talk to you about buying this beautiful, any of those Handi Quilter or APQS machines? Where can they contact you?
Perfect. So our shop phone number is 262-723-6775. And then our email is info@quiltingconnection.com. So like information, but just the short part, info@quiltingconnection.com.
Awesome. So now that we're back on track, we'll go ahead and do our little intro real quick. So,
Do you want me to talk about Handi Quilter pricing or not yet?
oh, I forgot. Yeah.
That's okay. No
Most
worries.
important thing.
Okay.
Most important thing. Let me back out.
Good.
Sorry, guys.
All good. All good. So we have sheets that we can gladly email to anybody too. Handi Quilter does have two different price models. So they have the MSRP pricing, which we as dealers are required to post that MSRP pricing online. We are not allowed to post any of the sales or show specials on our website. So that's why it always says contact us for your price. So they have MSRP pricing and then show pricing. Usually Handi Quilter will only offer show pricing when they're actually at a quilt show. I know Kathy and I kind of are in agreement on this, that we feel like, why should you have to wait for a quilt show to get that best price? So we both offer that show pricing every day of the year. It's honestly also because my brain cannot remember all of the different numbers. So I get to remember one set of numbers, and that helps my brain a lot more. So that smallest machine, that Moxie 15, the show price for that is $45.95, so $4,500, and that is again on that 8-foot frame. We can expand it to 10; it would be an additional $500 for that. The Moxie XL is also on that loft frame, that 8-foot frame. Moxie XL show pricing is $69.95. The Amara machine, Amara 20 on that studio frame is going to be $10,995, so $11,000 without the computer system. That Pro Stitcher Premium that comes on the Amara is an additional 10, so you're looking at $21,000 for the Amara to be computerized. Sorry, let me back up. Moxie and Moxie XL computerized. The Moxie 15 with Pro Stitcher Lite, you're looking at $10,000. The Moxie XL with the computer is $12,500. And then Amara 24 that comes on the gallery frame, that one without the computer is $13,600. With the computer is $24,500. And then the Infinity machine without the computer is $18,000, and with the computer you're looking at $28,000. There is also different monthly specials that Handi Quilter does each month. We usually participate in those. This is actually one of my favorite specials that they're doing. So this one is January 6th through February 24th. It's the bounce back promotion. So what that means is if you purchase a Moxie, a Pro Stitcher Lite, you would get $250 for each of those. So $500 total. It would be a gift card to us, the Quilting Connection, or a gift card to Fabric Bash that you can then use for anything. If you do an Amara, Infinity, or Pro Stitcher Premium, you're getting $500 for each of those, so $1,000 total if you did the machine and the computer. I appreciate that bounce back promotion because then you get to buy what you want. You can have the accessories that you want, where sometimes when they do a monthly special, they'll give you like that overhead lighting, and that's all you get. You don't get to choose what you want. So bounce back has been an amazing special, and we absolutely love it. Yay.
Okay. See, I even said the schedule at the beginning, and I already messed it up. Look at that. It's one of my gifts. All right. While we're waiting for any questions, we'll go ahead and get started on Fabric Bash, how we got started.
Yeah.
So this history started with this gentleman right here. So I'm the mother-in-law and he's the son-in-law.
Which means I get to work with my mother-in-law every day.
So we started a store in 2019. We purchased a store in 2019 and quickly expanded it it was an APQS long-arm rental program. We love that aspect of it and still have that here today, but also have added Handi Quilter, and we also were Janome dealers at the time, but we've added Baby Lock and Juki as well. So now we have 5 machines. We have our 3,000 bolts of fabric classes. We moved to an 8,000 square foot store here in Omaha, Nebraska, just off of I-80. So we understand we're a pass-through state. So when you're passing through, when you hit the Cabela's, you got to make sure that you stop in here. we have the quilt store right here for you, and just 2 doors down from us is a brewery. So we got someplace to have a good drink while you're waiting to go on. But with that, we have added some more people. So again, my kids now are joining the group. So this is my son, Greg, who just started over the summer working for us. And he's a phenomenal salesman. So likes working here, and he went back, and we all 3 of us are certified. These
Certified
two technicians are certified crazy, one or the other. But these 2 are a way better technician than I am, but I'm a way better quilter than they are. So that's our gift. We too love the education part. When we set up all of the long arms, we like spending time with our customers, making sure they're comfortable before we leave. And then also have in-store classes and lifetime classes, because on March 5th, you guys, you just saw that beautiful presentation from Angie for Pro Stitcher. So guess who is going to be here March 5th and 6th? In store. I know. Miss Angie is going to be here. So if you have any questions, we have a beginning Pro Stitcher day on March 5th and an advanced day on March 6th. So all of my customers who have purchased from us get that class for free, right? But if you know some friends in the area that want to come and see Miss Angie, make sure you come in and you can purchase that class and come sit here. We got lots of space. The Pro Stitcher paragraph class is going to be a limited seating though, right?
Yeah.
But the advanced will be a little bit more open. We have a little bit more options for some more seating. And then in May, I'm heading up to Appleton, right?
Appleton and Elkhorn, both stores.
Oh, wow. I'm so excited. And I'm going to be teaching Quilt Path. So I love Quilt Path. I love Pro Stitcher. I love how they come at things the different way, but do the same beautiful thing. And we have these great, beautiful quilts. Yeah. So with that, let's turn on our APQS video. I'm going to have to fill in some spots to keep up with Miss Angie, because hers was like amazing. But I'm here to do that. It's all good. Let me introduce you to Millie 30, our top of the line long arm from APQS. All APQS machines are made from airplane grade aluminum that is molded to make sure that all the machines are easy to move around the table, so that makes them lighter. Also, with Millie being a throat space of 30 inches, we count the throat space from the needle all the way to the back edge back there. With having a 30-inch throat space, we have a great LED light here that also illuminates your working area, as well as LED lights right underneath the needle that also can be turned into a black light situation or off if you actually would like. Let's look at some of the great features that Millie offers. Millie has a needle up-down position right here on her electronics on the front of her face right here. We have channel locks that are both horizontal and vertical. Here's the stitch regulator that is on with the blue light, but if I don't want to work, I want to work in manual mode, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Here is a default button that will move all of my stitches back to the default of right here in the middle of your 7 to 15 stitches per inch. We have a bobbin reset right here that helps me with my bobbin indicator. This moves off of this little function right here because the top thread and the bobbin thread pull at the same rate. So when we get this green indicator gets down low, it's going to tell us we need a new bobbin. Here's our thread cutter. And one last great feature of Millie and Millie 30 is this quilt glide option. It's a hybrid between your stitch regulator and manual mode. So if you're working on a border and you need to move at a very, you're moving on at a speed that is capable that you need that stitch regulator, but then you move on to go behind, say, some applique, and you want to slow that down a little bit, but keep that smooth feature going. The manual mode will click in as you slow down, but the needle will keep on moving, and so you can have the nice, smooth micro quilting. I would love to introduce you to one of my favorite machines, my Millie, that is a 26-inch throat space. She is a throat space, again, starts from the needle to the back of the machine. Quiltable space is a little bit different. We're going to take about 4 to 5 inches away on quiltable space. So even though we have a 26-inch throat space, we're going to have anywhere between a 20 and a 21-inch quiltable space, because as the quilt rolls up on the bar, it takes away from some of that throat space. What I love about Millie, again, is all of her beautiful electronics that are right here on the front of her face right here, if you shall say. We have the needle up, down, which way I want to end the position. If I want to end in the down position when I'm working ruler work, I'm going to click this button right here. Here's our channel locks, both horizontal and vertical. My stitch regulator. So if I want to work with in manual mode, all I have to do is turn that off, and now I'm working in manual mode. Turn it back on, got that stitch regulator going. Right here's our default, because right here is the default screen. We have either 7 inches up to 15 inches, those really tiny stitches. But if I'm moving back and forth and I want to go back to my default stitch, all I have to do is hit that button there and we move back to default. We have our bobbin reset. So when my bobbin starts to get low, as my thread gets pulled through this thread sensor here, since the top thread and the bobbin thread pull at the same rate, this is our bobbin thread sensor, and this will move down as we quilt. When I get low enough, it's going to warn me that I need to change my bobbin. And when I do that, I'm going to reset it, go back to the full size. When we also, Millie has a thread cutter. And then one of the great options that comes standard with Millie is Quilt Glide. That is where we can have best of both worlds. It's a hybrid between a stitch regulator and manual mode. So when I'm moving at a pretty good clip and working on some borders, and I'm very comfortable with my motif when I'm free motion quilting, that stitch regulator will stay engaged. But then I move in behind applique and I want to get a nice, tight, smooth micro stippling. This now will take all that stitch regulator will be off into manual mode, nice and smooth and slow down, so I can go ahead and do that micro stippling. But once I start picking up the pace again, my stitch regulator will be back and engaged. So it's really a fabulous tool. What's really wonderful about our new buttons here, we have they can rotate in different directions here. Also, if I want to, I can move it up like this or down like this, depending on what's comfortable for me. But also we have the green is for us to get our stitching going, and the white is either needle up or needle down, depending on what we are. It does one motion at a time. What's really wonderful, and as you can see, I'm sitting in a chair. I am sitting here, Millie is on the new comfort table. The comfort table, in the past, we've had a hydraulic lift that goes up for people who are taller. Now we have this fabulous comfort table that I can sit and I can move all over as I'm quilting here and move back and forth and keep my quilting going. So I did 108 by 108 in 2 days of custom quilting, and I sat down the whole time and it was very comfortable, and I was not tired at the end of the day of working 8 hours on that quilt for 2 days. So the comfort table goes all the way down to a seating position, which is wonderful for people who have either back issues or in a wheelchair, or just to be comfortable. Sometimes I like to stand, sometimes I like to sit. Now with this comfort table, I can memorize 4 positions. So if my daughter, who's a little bit taller, wants to come quilt, she's able to sit here and just put it to her height and keep on quilting. Pretty fabulous. Let's show you how high this machine actually can go. Here we are in the sitting position, and as we raise it, getting a little bit too high, so I'm going to be able to stand up right here, and we're going to keep on going. This is what's really wonderful. I have tall people in my family, and if they want to come help me, they can do that at a push of a button. Or if I want to sit back down, I just have to lower it back down. Look, we're still going. This is wonderful. I never thought I would work this high, but sometimes when I want to work ruler work, I want to be right in on the work, and so sometimes I go not quite this high, but I go a little bit higher to help me with ruler work. But look at this height of this machine. Why would this height be so important? Now I can look inside my hook area, and if I need to work and look inside there, I get a better angle at my hook area by moving the machine higher. So it's not only just for quilting access, but also when I'm working on my maintenance. I can move it a little bit higher, have a better angle at that hook area so I'm not bending over and hurting my back. Another great option is Freddie. Freddie here is also a 26-inch throat space. Yes, he has some electronics on the outside here, but he's missing a couple features compared to Millie. Millie is our top of the line. So Freddie right here has that needle up-down position that I shows that Millie has as well. Millie also has an option of channel locks, and Freddie does not. We do have a manual channel lock on the back that will do a horizontal, but you have to go to the back and manually screw it down, which is fine. It's perfect for when you start your quilt tops to make sure they're nice and square. We have the default stitch length right here. Here's our stitch regulator with the blue light. The stitch regulator is on. If I want to work in manual mode, I just click that little button and now we're in manual mode. We have a bobbin reset right here, because right over here on this side we have a thread sensor guide. Since the top and the bobbin threads pull at the same speed, this will help me realize when I need to replace my bobbin, and then it will beep at me, let me know I need to replace my bobbin. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to reset that right here. One of the features that I love between Freddie and Millie also is this quilt glide. It's a hybrid between the stitch regulator and the manual mode. What does that mean? It's best of both worlds going on at the same time. If I'm moving at a pretty good pace where I need to have that stitch regulator engaged, it will be at a higher pace. So if I'm working on an applique quilt that has these big, beautiful borders that I want to do some feathers, I'm going to do my beautiful feathers, and as I move into behind the applique, I want to do some tiny micro stippling. I want to have that freedom of moving nice and slow without anything measuring my machine. And that's where manual mode comes in. It gives me that nice freedom to move nice and slow, get those nice curves as I do my micro stippling. But then as I move back out to my borders and I start moving at a little bit faster pace because I'm very confident as I'm working those feathers, my stitch regulator will then be engaged again. Again, Freddie comes with the handlebars that are rotational. I can have different options here. I can also move them up right over here, or I can move them down here, depending on what I like. Right here we have the cleaning and the oiling, super easy, extra lighting. Freddie is a great option for your quilting needs. Let me introduce you to APQS Lucy. We love Lucy. Yes, I know, but we truly do. She is a fabulous machine for many different reasons. First of all, she has all of her great electronics on the inside, but I call her a basic machine up front with her stitch regulator on the side and my stitch length on the side there that I can push with a button. We have the handlebars that rotate and the new green and white buttons, but also we can hold it up like this, or we can rotate it down, just depending on what you want to do. Again, Lucy is a 26-inch throat space. So that goes from the needle to the back of the machine with that extra great LED light, the lighting, and also the black light. Forgot what that was for a second. All right, we have the same maintenance, that's ease of use. Millie here is on the deluxe table, as you see, but she can also go on a standard table. The standard table is a little bit smaller bars, and the reason that is so exciting is that gets you even more quiltable space. So once again, 26-inch throat space does not equal quiltable space. On the deluxe table, we're going to take anywhere from 4 to 5, or maybe even 6 if you're doing cuddle, inches away from that quiltable space. You put Lucy on a standard table, and that's where she comes. Her price point is always on that standard table. The deluxe table is going to be a little bit of an upgrade. But what is the reason I would want a deluxe table? The deluxe table comes with a Power Advance. Power Advance is an electronic motor that helps me roll my quilt up and it is so totally fabulous for especially like I had double frozen shoulders, and it was really hard for me to roll my quilt. But for those of you who want to be able to have the standard table, we have that option as well. Both are fine. So the standard table does not have that power motor advance, but that's okay. It's still great and ease of use here in our rental program for that standard table. Let's talk about Lenny. I do not have a Lenny currently in the store, but he's being shipped here real soon. This here is Lucy, which is a 26-inch throat space. Lenny looks a little bit the same, except for he is a 22-inch throat space, and his profile in the back is a little bit shorter. So he's just a little bit lighter for those of you who need a littler machine and are fine with a 22-inch throat space. He is such a great value for the throat space and the price point that I feel like he could do king-size quilts, king-size, queen-size quilts, all those great things, all the way down to just a table runner. He's fabulous. He comes on the standard table, 12, 10, or 8 feet long, and also comes standard with that bliss track that is nice and smooth, that those ball bearings are moving, makes the machine move super smoothly. Ellie. Ellie is one of our latest additions of machines to our lineup here. She is perfect for either throat space or somebody who doesn't necessarily have a huge space for the big old long arm. This here is what we would call a hoop system. So you can see right along here, I have these little gray clamps right here that help hoop the system. Can you do a king-size quilt on this hoop system? Absolutely. There's some tips and tricks we'll talk about though when you purchase your Ellie machine. Also now Ellie comes with a bar back here so we can help roll. So all we have to do now is just clamp this front part right here on your hoop system. Again, Ellie has 3,500 stitches per minute, comes with that easy use of maintenance, has the flexible handles and all of the good stuff there. We have our stitch regulator on the side with our stitch length on the side. Ellie is an 18-inch throat. She also has LED lights here that could also be turned off or have a black light on. Ellie does not have a light underneath the throat space since she is only 18 inches long. So again, Ellie is the perfect starter machine if you want to see that long arming is like what you want to do. I fell in love with long arming the very second I tried it, but not necessarily for everybody. But I think this machine is such a fabulous machine for somebody who's into artwork and little quilts. Or again, like I said, if you want to do a whole king-size quilt on this hoop system, there are tips and tricks. And I have a customer who does all kinds of quilting, all kinds of quilt sizes on this hoop system. Again, perfect machine, lifetime warranty, all of the good stuff that her brothers and sisters have back there, what we call the family. So if you need to, the one also special feature that we have about Ellie, you purchase Ellie this year and you find out that you absolutely love long arming and you want more and you want to turn this into a business. From the day of purchase, you have 1 year to turn Ellie back in and get 100% of the money that you pay towards that will go towards your Millie or your Millie 30 machine. 1 year from the date of purchase, every penny that you paid towards your Ellie will go towards your Millie or Millie 30. We call that the Peter Pan. You're never going to outgrow APQS. What a great option. So stop by, test drive Miss Ellie today, and let's get you long arming. APQS long arms, all of them come with a lifetime warranty. What does that mean? Lifetime is kind of a subjective thing, right? So lifetime means the lifetime of all of the products that are inside this machine. So if you had a motor issue or we had some other electronics on the inside, that's going to be a lifetime warranty. You get to also work on your machine and maintain that lifetime warranty. I can't even do that with my toaster at home. I would void the warranty. But here at APQS, that lifetime warranty means something extra special, because that's going to save you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 of service fees every year or every other year. So again, that right there, we're going to save a lot of money by you just taking care of your machine. If something should happen along the way, you just need to call APQS Service or Fabric Bash or where you purchased your machine, and they will be able to help you with either videos, calls of the ladies back at APQS headquarters are the most amazing people to work with and have the patience of saints and are kind and will walk you through, stay on the phone with you while you get your machine up and running.
Yay! That was great. That was wonderful.
There's a couple of things like lifetime. There's one thing that Jake wants to correct me on, because I also called Lucy Millie, because that's what I do. I call all of my children somebody different.
I love it.
So the lifetime warranty is phenomenal. It does cover like all those parts inside. So electronics for sure, which are high price parts. But I want to caveat, there are parts that can still be sourced. So during COVID, on some of the older machines that have been around 20, 30 years, we're not able to get boards any longer. So unfortunately, they can't service those machines. So we don't foresee that happening for a long time, but just so you guys are aware that the technology does change and the industry changes, and that could come about eventually. But for right now, we're good.
Answer the question on the channel locks.
So Janice asked about the channel locks. On APQS, all the machines, so Ellie, Larry, Lenny, Lucy, and Freddie have a horizontal channel lock, and it's like a manual thing. So it's something you'll go onto the back of your machine, you'll screw it down, it's going to lock your machine from moving vertically, so you can do a nice straight horizontal line. And that is super nice. Kathy will tell you to do that straight horizontal line. Once you get your backing and batting loaded, you'll stitch that through. Gives you a nice straight line to line your quilt top up to. Millie is kind of the exception. So Millie comes with electronic channel locks, both horizontal and vertical. So with the touch of the button on that screen you guys saw, we'll lock that machine vertically if you want to do a vertical line, or horizontal if you want to do a horizontal line. But yeah, let us know if you have any other questions.
Test drive.
Yeah, if you want to come set up a test drive, call us. Our number is 402-884-2096, or shoot us an email at info, that's information shortened, at fabricbash.com. I don't know if Kathy.
Can I show these quick too? This is, so this is what the Handi Quilter channel locks look like. So they come as a set of 2. These are going to go around your wheel on your machine head. And if you put it on your machine head, that's going to stop it from rolling front to back. So you get a nice straight horizontal line. This can also wrap around your wheel down on your carriage. So either that 4 or 8 wheel carriage, you can wrap this around one of those wheels. That'll stop it from moving left to right. So then you get nice straight vertical lines. So Handi Quilter machines, you can get these channel locks. If you have the Infinity machine, the Infinity has the built-in channel locks for both horizontal and vertical. And then if you add either Pro Stitcher Lite or Pro Stitcher, then you have built-in channel locks with the computer system.
Perfect. And then I think Greg here is going to talk about some APQS pricing for you guys.
I will talk pricing real quick. We have a couple good sales going on. Pricing for Ellie. Ellie's $8,400. And these are all going to be just the same pricing. They don't have any sale pricings, just MSRP. For most of their tables, it's going to come on whatever table size you want, 8, 10, 12, or 14. The only exception is going to be Larry. If you want a 12-foot, it is a little bit of a price increase. So Ellie comes on that Halo table, and that is $8,400. Larry comes on the standard table at $9,300 for 8 or 10 foot. It's a $625 increase for a 12 foot. Then the jump to Lenny on the standard table with Bliss included on 8, 10, or 12 is $15,500. Lucy on the standard table is $18,400 or $21,600. But right now they're having a We Love Lucy sale where you get the comfort table upgraded for just $200. So right now Lucy on a comfort table is $18,600. Freddie on a comfort table is $25,400. And the big sale is on Millie and Millie 30 right now. So this is the sale that they're going to be having in March. We're going to be the first ones telling you about it. They don't have it on their website or anything. Millie, MSRP is $27,300. You are currently getting a free comfort table with it. So that is $9,000 off. It is $18,300 right now. So you can get Millie for less than Lucy right now. Millie 30 on a comfort table is MSRP $30,500. It is on sale for $21,500. So really, really good sales on Millie and Millie 30, especially combined with the Quilt Path sale that's going on right now.
Which I forgot to talk about.
Quilt Path is the computer system for APQS. It is MSRP $12,500. It is on sale for $8,500. So a Millie or Millie 30 right now, you're getting $13,000 off of the machine and computer if you get both of those, and that's on the comfort table, 8, 10, 12, or 14-foot table.
Right. So let's talk about Quilt Path a little bit. I just did Quilt Path a little bit of a disservice and didn't talk about that. This is a machine in itself that is actually wonderful as well. So I pulled up, and here, I just pulled it off of my machine. I love that I can take the tablet, take it in front of me when I want to practice and learn how to work with my system a little bit more as I'm learning. I can take it off and play with it just like a tablet, like any other tablet. But what I like about this, if I had my quilting space set up right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put right up here. I'm going to hit a beautiful flower design, and I'm going to hit open, and it automatically populates that whole quilt right there. I can go ahead and start quilting it by moving on to another layer real quick. Quilt Path comes with 700 designs. We could do, there's a pantograph that I use most of the time. That's 99% of what I like to do. That's where my bread and butter is at, and most of our quilters, that's where it's at. We also can do borders. Select and sew is where I can do custom quilting. I can do pattern CAD, and I can design, and I can make up my own designs. I can alter some other ones and make some fun ones as well as using letters for words and all kinds of fun things. I can design a whole quilt right here under Quilt CAD. So if I'm sitting at home and I have all those dimensions filled out, I can fill out what design I want in what area, come back into the long arm room, go straight from Quilt CAD and go right to the spot on my quilt and quilt it. So it's a great tool. I call this my employee who doesn't complain too much. So it can help me work while I'm working. So this is a great addition for anybody who wants to work on their own quilts, wants to work for others, and that price point of $8,500 is pretty phenomenal. And which comes with here between Fabric Bash and the Quilting Connection. You're going to get that pantograph class here for us as well, and we're going to be here to help you along that journey. All right, any other things we can think about there, Miss Angie?
Kathy, warranty on Quilt Path.
1 year. 1 year because it's a tablet, and that is from the manufacturer. So this here is the one part. This here, Quilt Path, is the one part that is not manufactured in Carroll. So that's one of the things that this one here, the limited warranty is 1 year. And that's just the way that kind of works, because we're taking a tablet from another company and moving it on and using the software. But if, and just like Handi Quilter, if there's an update, it's free. It's going to be a free update. And we recently just had a major free update. And I know I just saw just another one with Handi Quilter, right? That I haven't even had a chance to play with it because I was in Florida. Yeah. But is it a minor or a major one?
It's more minor for this one. So
more minor.
Yeah, Handi Quilter, same thing, Pro Stitcher, all of your updates are free for life. We always like to explain it. If it's something you can physically touch, then there's going to be a price associated with it. But that software updates are always free for life. Handi Quilter warranty, I don't think I covered that, is going to be 2 years on the Pro Stitcher tablet, 5 years on the electrical part of the machine, and then 10 years on that outer shell, that casting of the head. So that's your Handi Quilter warranty. I see that Grant commented on YouTube and said that he loves that APQS has a lifetime warranty. That is such an amazing thing that APQS, I think they're the only one in the industry to offer that.
So I'm just going to say they're the only one in the world. So I can't even work on my toaster and void the warranty. So like, I'm sure there's warranty stuff even over my toaster. So I love the fact that, again, the ladies in Carroll, that you can call them up and they're so fabulous. You can put the phone up to your machine and say, hey, listen to this. And she'll say, well, it's this or this. You know, I mean, they're really pretty good at doing all of their phenomenal work. So, we were just there yesterday over at Carroll at the factory. It's just such a wonderful place just to visit. I love that the products are made here in the United States. I love that with the Handi Quilter, they are assembled in the United States. I like that they are really trying both of these companies together. I love the one thing when I was going through Handi Quilter training while the boys were in maintenance, I was in the other side working some other things. What I loved is hearing the story of how Handi Quilter started in the home. And I mean, APQS has a little bit different. They started doing mattresses, but then they brought it into like this whole family situation. So both Handi Quilter and APQS have this family aspect that is so phenomenal and makes both of these machines so easy to sell, and that we can work together with you to find your favorite machine. That's what we're here about, is getting you the best machine for you to be quilting.
Yeah. 100%. And then that education, like we talked about, education is such an important tool. That's what we hear the most from our customers. I want more classes. I want more classes. So I know, Kathy, you have an amazing calendar event page on your website. We also have the same thing, shows and events, on our website too. So come join us for classes. Even if you don't have a machine yet, you don't have to own a machine to come to some of these classes. You are more than welcome. We currently have one of our renters back there right now. She's working on a quilt that is 102 by 102. So she's doing pantograph quilting right now and getting that
Heavy
quilt done for her
lifting.
son. Yeah,
Yay.
yeah. So you don't have to own a machine to come. And like we talked about, come and plan a time to test drive. If you want to come to either one of our stores, and we'll spew
And
all of that information at you again.
maybe a little bit slower, but also too, make sure you come out when I want my peeps here to come and say hi to Angie when she's here. So Handi Quilter people, I want y'all to come say hi to Miss Angie when she is here. And then when I'm up your way, I hope some, Quilt Path people come in and hang out with us, because it can be a lot of fun.
Yes, yes, I love it.
Yeah. No, I love this relationship that we have with the quilting. I've known Angie for a long time. That quick zipper system, we've been buying zippers from her for a long time.
Yes, we appreciate that. Yes.
So those, and I sell them here in the store. So it's a really great option.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't see if any other questions here, Angie.
Okay. Yeah, you can always email or call either one of us. We'll keep an eye on these chats too. You can comment on the chats after these videos are up, and we'd love to help you find your perfect long arm, and we'd love to be the place that you start your long
Come
arm
join
journey.
us. Come to the dark side and join the long arm world. It's too much fun.
Yes.
And then just one more time, Angie, what's your phone number?
262-723-6775, and then info@quiltingconnection.com is our email.
And Fabric Bash is 402-884-2096 and info@fabricbash.com. Also, you can message us on our Facebook page, our business page as well. Right? All right. Well, with that, everybody, thank you for those who hung out from the very beginning. You're diehard fans, and we really appreciate you. That's pretty awesome. And Angie, couple weeks, my friend.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm
Margaret,
excited.
you're absolutely welcome. Thank you for you guys for watching. You guys are wonderful. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait. All right. Sharon said she's going to come the second week in April.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
Oh,
that is
good,
awesome.
Sharon. Good.
I know. All right, guys. Stay warm, stay cozy, stay safe because of all the snow. Okay, guys?
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.